we're going to be reacting to the NFL Week 16. Don't mind my fire alarms, we need to change them. Excuse me. Let's talk about let's talk about Thursday night, Saints versus Rams. The Rams actually gonna make the playoffs this year, in my humble opinion. Los Angeles the Saints had 339 total yards. The Rams had 458 total yards. Passing yards, the Saints had 104 and the Rams had 325 passing yards. Rushing yards, the Saints had 35 rushing yards. The Rams had 133 rushing yards. Yards per play, Saints 5.8. Los Angeles Rams 6.8. The Saints had 18 first downs. The Rams had 23 first downs. Third down efficacy, New Orleans Saints 5 out of 11. Los Angeles Rams 4 out of 12. Fourth down efficacy, Saints 3 out of 3. Rams 1 out of 1. Total plays, the Saints had 58 total plays. The Rams had 67 total plays. The Saints allowed 2 sacks. The Rams allowed 1 sack. The Saints punted 2 times. The Rams punted 2 times. Penalty yards, the Saints had 3 penalties. The Rams had 3 penalties. The 3 penalties for the Saints cost 20 yards. The Rams had 3 penalties, which cost them 25 yards. Fumble! The Saints fumble 0 times. The Rams fumble 0 times. The Saints threw for 1 interception. The Rams threw for 0 interceptions. Time possession, the Saints had the ball for 25 minutes, 42 seconds. The Rams had the ball for 34 minutes and 18 seconds. The next one I want to talk about is Bengals versus Steelers. Boy, did the Bengals ever got beaten. The Bengals had 368 total yards. The Steelers had 397 total yards. Passing yards, the Bengals had 309 passing yards. The Steelers had 284 passing yards. The Bengals had 309 passing yards. Yards per play, Cincinnati 6.0. yards per play for the Steelers, 6.8. The Bengals had 17 first downs. Steelers had 16 first downs. Third down efficiency. Steelers 6 out of 13. Bengals 6 out of 13. Steelers 7 out of 14. Fourth down efficiency. Cincinnati Bengals 0 out of 2. Steelers 0 out of 0. Total plays. Cincinnati had 61 total plays. Steelers had 58 total plays. The Bengals allowed 3 sacks. The Steelers allowed 1 sack. The Bengals punted 3 times. And the Steelers punted 5 times. Penalties. The Bengals had 3 penalties, which equals 20 yards. The Steelers had 2 penalties, which equal 15 yards. The Bengals and Steelers didn't fumble. The Bengals threw for 3 interceptions. Steelers threw 0 interception. The Bengals had the ball for 31 minutes and 49 seconds. Steelers had the ball for 28 minutes and 11 seconds. Feels like next, we have the Bills and the Chargers. Boy, this one was real close. This was real close. My Buffalo Bills should have blown the step. My Buffalo Bills should have been able to blow out the Chargers. But hey, I would take the win. The Bills had 335 total yards. The Chargers had 273 total yards. The Bills had 230 passing yards. But the Chargers had 175 total yards. The Bills had 105 rushing yards. The Chargers had 8. The Bills had 16 first downs. Chargers had 18 first downs. Third down efficiency. The Bills, for third down, Bills are 5 out of 10. Chargers are 4 out of 14 fourth down. Neither team went 4 out of fourth down. The Bills had total of 52 plays. The Chargers had total of 65 plays. The Bills allowed 1 sack. The Chargers allowed 5 sacks. The Bills punted 4 times. The Chargers punted 4 times. The Bills had 7 penalties, which cost 64 yards. The Chargers got 6 penalties, which cost them 29 yards. The Bills fumbled the ball twice. The Chargers 26 minutes and 56 seconds. The Chargers had the ball for 33 minutes and 4 seconds. Again, the Bills should have blown out the Chargers, but I would take the win. The next game we're going to look at is I want to look at the Commanders versus the Jets. Boy, oh boy, wasn't that a shootout? The Commanders had 245 total yards. The Jets had 381 total yards. The Commanders had 143 passing yards. Jets had 217 passing yards. The Commanders had 102 rushing yards, and the Jets had 164 rushing yards. The Commanders had 18 first downs, while the Jets had 26 first downs. The Commanders converted on third down 3 out of 12 times, while the Jets converted on 4 out of 16 times. The Commanders converted on fourth down 1 out of 1 time. The Jets converted on fourth down 1 out of 2 times. Total plays. The Commanders had 58 total plays, while the Jets had 85 total plays. The Commanders allowed 1 sack. The Jets didn't allow any sacks. The Commanders had 8 penalties, which cost them 68 yards. The Jets had 14 penalties, which cost them 150 yards. The Commanders fumbled 1 time. The Jets also fumbled 1 time. The Commanders threw 2 interceptions. The Jets threw 1 interception. Time of the possession. The Commanders had the ball for 23 minutes and 44 seconds. Well, the Jets had the ball for 36 minutes and 16 seconds. The next game we're going to look at is Lions versus Vikings. Oh, by the way, congratulations to the Detroit Lions for winning the division for the first time. The Lions, 389. The Lions had 389 total yards. The Vikings had 390 yards. Passing yards. Detroit 446 passing yards, while the Vikings had 373 passing yards. Rushing yards. Detroit rushed the ball for 143 rushing yards, while the Vikings rushed the ball for 17 rushing yards. Detroit had 28 first downs. The Vikings had 19 first downs. The Detroit has converted 6 out of 12 times on third down. The Vikings converted 3 out of 9 times on third down. Lions converted twice out of 2 times on fourth down. The 51 total plays. The Lions allowed 1 sack. Vikings allowed 4 sacks. Punts. The Detroit had punted the ball 3 times. Vikings punted the ball 2 times. Detroit had 9 penalties, which equals 52 yards. The Vikings had 8 penalties, which equals 64 yards. The Lions fumble 1 time, but there's a but. The Vikings had thrown 4 interceptions. Detroit Lions had the ball for 38 minutes and 22 seconds, while the Vikings had the ball for 21 minutes and 38 seconds. The next game. I want to look at the Raiders versus the Chiefs. The Raiders had 205 total rushing yards, while the Chiefs had 308 rushing yards. Total yards. The Raiders had 48 passing yards, while the Chiefs had 223 passing yards. The Chiefs had 157 rushing yards. The Raiders had 157 rushing yards, while the Chiefs had 85 rushing yards. The Raiders had 12 first downs. The Chiefs have 19 first downs. The Raiders allowed 2 sacks. The Chiefs allowed 4 sacks. I am tired, so I'm going to do one more game. The final game I'm going to look at is Ravens versus 49ers. The Ravens had 343 total yards, but the 49ers had 429 total yards. 2 passing yards. The Ravens threw for 241 passing yards, but the 49ers had 308 passing yards, rushing yards. The Ravens rushed for 102 times. Well, the 49ers rushed for 121 yards. The Ravens had 23 first downs. The 49ers had 21 first downs. The Ravens allowed 2 sacks. 49ers allowed 4 sacks. Ravens punted the ball 3 times. 49ers punted the ball 2 times. Ravens threw for 0 interceptions. 49ers threw for 5 interceptions. The Ravens had the ball for 31 minutes and 14 seconds. Well, the 49ers had the ball for 28 minutes and 46 seconds. Well, thank you for joining me, everyone. I'm going to get to bed. Like what Deanna Mitchell says, you better remember, let's go Buffalo. Good night, YouTube.